Here are the 3 most common types of inflation explained with beer. Let's say there's a bar and it has 100 beers and each beer costs $1. Then a bus of 125 tourists pulls up and they're really thirsty. The bar owner realizes that he's gonna run out of beer, so he raises the price to $2. The tourists gladly pay $2, so he raises the price to $3. The beer supply is running low, so he raises the price to $5. People grumble, but they still pay it. Soon there are only 10 beers left, so the bar owner decides to auction them off. I'll pay $35, I'll pay $55, I'll pay $65, and the final beer goes for $100. What caused the price of beer to inflate was the massive increase in demand from all the tourists. Because there's no increase in the supply of beer, the bar owner was able to increase the price of beer dramatically. This is called demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation occurs when the demand for beer is much higher than the supply of beer, causing the price of beer to spike. But that's just one of the ways inflation can spike the price of beer. A bar owner goes to order more beer. He normally pays 50 cents per can of beer he orders. However, when talking to the brewery, he finds out that a hop-eating grasshopper has diminished the supply of hops. So the brewery now has to charge $1 per can of beer. The bar owner says, "No way, you're just trying to gouge me." But he calls a few other breweries and gets the same story about the hop-eating grasshopper. So now he's forced to pay $1 per beer. The bar owner needs to make a 50-cent profit to stay in business. So he has to raise the price of his beer from $1 to $1.50. The patrons grumble, so they check out a few other bars and quickly realize the price of beer has gone up everywhere because of the shortage of hops. This is called cost push inflation. Cost push inflation occurs when the price of producing beer increases, so those increased costs are pushed onto the consumer in the form of higher prices. Here is another example of how inflation can happen with beer. There is a saloon in a very poor West Texas town. The Cowboys make around $10,000 a year and barely scrape by. Because the local wages are so low, the saloon can only charge 50 cents per beer. Yeehaw! The town strikes oil, and all of a sudden, every cowboy went from making $10,000 a year to $10,000 a month working in the oil field. Now the saloon owner can charge $5 a beer because his newly rich customers can afford it. And also, in order to get anyone to work at his bar, the wages he pays his bartenders and busboys are gonna have to be able to compete with the wages in the oil field. All the rich oil field workers drive up the prices of food, housing, and beer. The cost of living keeps going up, so the bartenders and barbacks demand higher salaries so they can pay for the increased price of rent and food. So the saloon owner raises the price to $10 a beer to pay for the increased salaries of his employees. This is known as a wage price spiral. The workers demand higher wages, so the company raises prices, so the workers demand higher wages to pay for the higher prices, and on and on and on, causing massive inflation. Make fun of me in the comments, and I'll read the funniest comment in my next video.